all the giant towers in all the cities in all the world, you had to walk up to this one.
Blackpool, just like I pictured it.
Tell us where we are and what we're doing.
We are in Gay Paris. We are doing Casablanca, hence, hello. So yeah, we have just arrived. This is our opening night in Paris, so we're all very excited. And yeah, this is where the romance happened in Casablanca, the city of love. So yeah, no better place to be doing it, and in such a lovely day. Sorry, Glasgow.
There are photographs and posters of you as Humphrey Bogart, as Rick in Casablanca all over the city. Have you seen any of them yet?
Yeah, it's quite bizarre. Before I came here, there was a lot of people tweeting posters on the underground and the huge columns they have here. There was massive posters of myself all over Paris and on the metro and things like that. And in the Rue Pigalle, hello, just doing a bit of business after hours.
Probably a pleasant change from being recognised for your most famous character back at home.
Yeah, aye. It makes a wee change for 2 pints. I can't repeat the phrase, but I think we all know it. And things like that. And Boaby! Now it's more Bogey or Bogey. So yeah, although it happened a wee bit in Glasgow that for a change that people rather than saying that would say, oh, here's looking at you, kid. In the movie, Paris is integral to Casablanca. It's kind of where Ilsa and Rick meet. That's where the romance happens, which is then destroyed because it's war during the wartime. Rick then runs a bar in Casablanca. Ilsa left him, never turned up when they were meant to run away with each other as the Nazis were invading Paris at the time. So she didn't turn up at a train station, and Rick was broken-hearted ever since. Takes Sam, the pianist in Casablanca, from Paris, from a jazz bar, and opens a bar in Casablanca, which is kind of neutral country for emigres. Ilsa has now found that her husband, who she thought was dead, is alive, and comes to the neutral ground of Casablanca to get letters of transit to escape to America to keep up the fight against the Nazis, where she meets Rick again, and their love is rekindled. So there's a flashback in the movie to Paris and the romance, and they constantly talk about Paris, and of course the famous phrase that we'll always have Paris. So it's very, very important, Paris to Casablanca. Most
of the play is delivered in English, but there's talk of maybe a little bit of French creeping in there to sort of appease the locals.
Yeah, well, we thought it was only right. It's a lovely language, and when in Rome. So it seemed fitting that we should put in some French. So thankfully I've managed to sidestep most of it. But Barnaby Powers, who's new to the cast, has done an amazing job. I mean, he plays about 8 different characters, has had to learn to tap dance for our finale, and has to learn the majority of the French. So he's had quite a task, but he's more than up to it. He's done a fantastic job. So yeah, I just throw in a couple of wee phrases like bouffe. That's about Sacha Distel. Johnny Hallyday, Brigitte Bardot. It's Jim Haynes, who's producing the show and who brought it over here in the first place. Set up the Travis Theatre in Scotland kind of 51 years ago now, so he's a bit of a legend. And he fell in love with the show, and he lives in Paris. So he runs a kind of salon every Sunday that's an open house for artists, writers, actors. And he saw the show 3 years ago, loved it, brought lots of people to see it, came back a year later, kept bringing people, and he said, I want to bring this to Paris. I love this show. I've got to one day. And we're like, yeah. People make promises all the time. And here we are, he actually did it. It's incredible. So Jim's 80 years of age now, and he still has that kind of love, passion and drive. And it's nice that someone brings something for the right reasons rather than just commerce. I mean, on Twitter and things like that, there's been quite a few Scots going, are you in Paris? Oh, we're bringing a Scottish team. So I think we're going to get a huge Scottish contingent coming to see the show.
Well, the temperatures are probably comparable with Casablanca at the moment, so we'll let you go and get back under the cover of the theatre.
Here's looking at you, kid. All the gin joints and all the towns and all the world, Paul English had to walk into mine. Bonsoir.